In this section, let's learn about Spring Boot Actuator. So Spring Boot offers us lots of great features when it comes to enable production-ready applications. So when we build applications to production, we have to make sure that we can monitor our applications. So this is exactly what Spring Boot Actuator gives us. You can choose to manage and monitor your application by using HTTP or JMX, auditing, health, metrics, and a bunch more. So the cool thing here is probably you have seen boards such as like this one, so Grafana, and basically in here you can see that they have this nice dashboard. So if I zoom in, you can see this nice dashboard. Basically Grafana, it's one of the most popular tools for monitoring your systems. We can take Spring Boot Actuator and then expose some metrics and then have cool diagrams like this. So this is where we can monitor the state of our applications. We can also monitoring requests, the number of errors that we're having, the memory, and you can even do things like if you don't know how many people signed up to your application, how many people logged out. Basically, you can have a full overview of your application through Grafana. Now, Spring Boot Actuator gives us basically a way of us exposing metrics from our application. So in here, the way to use Actuator is very simple. So we take this dependency right here. So let's just take that dependency and then let's go back to IntelliJ. And in here, let me open up the pom.xml. And let's add Spring Actuator. So in fact, let me just add it to the bottom. And there we go. Paste that in. And now, because my auto import is not working, let me just reload the project. So Maven, reload project, and it's resolving dependencies. Just give it a second. And there we go. So here you can see that the dependency has now resolved. Now let's go ahead and start the application. There we go, up and running. And we have some logging. So this is the stuff that we've been doing throughout this course. But what I want to show you is, so basically we have this logging right here. So exposing two endpoints beneath path / and then actuator. So this means that by just simply adding the actuator dependency, so Spring Boot Starter Actuator, we get two endpoints that allows us to monitor our application. So what we can do is open up our web browser, and in here I'm going to type localhost, so localhost, and then / actuator, and enter, and check this out. So we actually, so basically my one might look a little bit different than yours, and that's because I'm using a JSON library to allow me to view JSON. So I think it's called JSON Viewer. But basically from here you can see that we have two links, right? So we have the actuator, so that's the self one. Then we have the health right here, and then we also have info. So let's go ahead and check the health. So I'm going to press enter, and you can see that we get a response. So this means that our application is up and running. So everything is working fine. Let me go back in here, and if I click on info, so actuator / info, you can see that it's actually empty. And the reason why it's empty is because we haven't configured the information about our application, but I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. So there we have it, actuator up and running. We've got two links, one health, so you can use this, for example, to perform health checks against your application, and this to retrieve information about your application. Now, one thing to note is that in here you see that exposing two endpoints. So with actuator, we actually have a bunch of endpoints available to us, but the reason why it only exposes two endpoints is because we have to deal with security, right? So we might want those endpoints to be secured. And for that, we need to implement our own logic. And that's the reason why we only have these two endpoints without security. Next, let me go ahead and show you how to set information about your application.